Hello, in this chapter 10 Excel data analytic practice, we are going to move forward the data analysis from one table, one data source to cross-sectional data using the relational database. When you actually work as a business analyst, we may have several worksheets together, right? So several databases or relational databases like we did in Access. Like in this demo, the demo data, I have three worksheets. It's like three tables. I have a customer table, which the customer number is the primary key. Then we have the other data fields. Then in a order table, we have the order number as the primary key and the related order information. And finally, we have the store information under the company regarding the store locations, the name of the city, and the address information. So this is like you have multiple relational database. When we're trying to do data analytics, I may need to grab data not only from one worksheet, I may get a cross-sectional data, right? So and we are going to practice this using Excel, convert to tables, and then build the relationships, and then use the pivot table to do different types of analysis. So that's the main purpose for the Excel in chapter 11. I already introduced that we have three worksheets in this database. So my demo data may look different, like the numbers may be different from the assignment data. No problem. Okay, we'll just use whatever I posted under the assignment. It has the same structure. For us to do data analytics in Excel, mostly we need to confirm a regular worksheet to table formats because some of the data functions are only available for table formats. So first, like we did in chapter 10, okay, I'm going to convert each of the three worksheets into the table format. We can do this at least in two different ways. Normally I do from here. So format, right, there is a direct function under the home tab. We can format as tables. You have different formatting options, mostly the color and the grid options. Or you can starting from here, like insert a table. Okay, this is not a table you are going to draw. They will based upon what you have here. Okay, so if you click on a table, they have some similar like options as I do the other way. And this is the instruction from the book. Okay, they use the insert and then table. We already have data in the worksheets. They should give you the automatic, right? So this default data range. If you don't want the whole, like the worksheets data in the table, you can customize, okay, into something smaller. But I'm going to use all of the, so we have all from C. So let me cancel briefly. Okay, let me make sure. So my data, I put it inside. And this is, I got the data range. So again, if you don't want to manually adjust the data range, so make sure your mouse is inside the data, right? So inside the data range, and Excel will automatically detect your data range and put it here. And then, so the checked is also default, means the table already has headers. If you don't, that's some other situation, you add the header or the field name later, but this is the format. So I will click on OK, and it's changed to a table format. Before you move on, so because we are going to have multiple tables, I want to give a meaningful for the table so I can use it for analysis later. And the name is in the top left. Okay, they will name like numerically, so the table 1, 2. But when you have multiple tables, it's hard to tell which table has which type of data. Okay, I will just call the same. This is a store. So the name of the worksheet and the table can be different. Okay, but I'm referring to the same. So store, location, and store information. So this is my first table. And then I'm moving to the orders. Okay, there is no required. Okay, you can start from any of the worksheets. So for this one, this time I'm going to use the format as table. Okay, the same result. I may choose a different color. Okay, like a light green. And can see same option. Okay, so make sure your mouse is inside the data range. And if they didn't detect, you can cancel and then move your mouse back in and redo it. Okay, so okay. And again, I need to change the name to just the order. So something I can identify easily later. Okay, second. And then finally, convert the customer worksheet into table. Okay, so this one probably I use a gray. Customer. So now all of my three worksheets are converted to tables, means I'm available. So I will be able to use the lots of the data functions from the, so let me probably move this to the bottom. Yeah, so you can see all of my tabs. So after I convert all of the three worksheets into tables, the next thing before I can do the cross-sectional analysis, similar to what we have done in Access, I need to build the relationships because right now they are independent. There is no link between the data fields. So I'm going to move to data. So most of your table data functions are located under the data tab. So you can start from any of the data function from any of the three tables. So click on data and the relationship button or the function is located here. It's very similar, right? So it's like a table link image, very similar to what we have in Access. And the Microsoft, the Excel and Access are all Microsoft products. They are trying to, I think, make it consistent with these icon things so we can relate. So I will click on these relationships. If you didn't convert your worksheets into tables and this this function is grayed out, means you couldn't perform a relationship with a regular worksheet only for data tables. Click on that, you get a dialog. And this one, there is no relationship, right? So black is very similar to the one we see in Access, but we are going to create the relationship, not really drag the table. Okay, you need to, this is like not a graphical. Okay, it's just, so just click on a new. And be careful, so you can work on any pairs of the table, but I'm going to start on between customer and order. Okay, these two tables first. The first table is normally the table containing the foreign key, right? So the foreign key linking to the primary key from the other table. So it should be the customer number in the order table. So I'm trying to think about, okay, one more minute. The primary key, the customer number as a primary key in customer table, and then the customer number as a foreign key in the orders table. So the table containing the, what I say, the foreign key first. Oh, so this should be, why didn't save my the name? But let me cancel briefly. Okay, so I can name. Only the customer one, the name of the table got saved. So let me go back to, so close this first. Okay, so orders. I want to rename this. I can find. I think I forgot where I see. Oh, here this is A1 table 1. I need to change. Okay, here. How to change the name of the table. Okay, I found it. So if you don't see, normally we are on the home tab, right? Or like data tab, you don't really see the name of the table you can change. So make sure we go to the table design, okay, like the structure, okay, design format. Click on the table design, you see the name option again, right? This is the order. Okay, I don't know why they didn't got saved. So probably I just save. Okay, so I don't know lose it. And then go to the store. Okay, the store table and put your mouse again inside the data range and the table design and so store. Okay, change and save. And now I'm going to the relationship one more time. Okay, because you can later when I really see table 1, table 2, I don't really I cannot refer to which table, the structure, right? So it's better to give the name we can easily relate. So data again, okay, data and then the relationships and the new. So first, remember the table contain the foreign key. Okay, I'm doing this one again. The order table with the customer number as the foreign key, containing the foreign key, match with the customer table, which has the customer number as primary key. See, right? The same data field, primary key and foreign key related to of the tables. We did this in Access, but just dragging and drop the data field, right? So it's more convenient, but the Access is a specialized database tool, but this is in Excel, right? So, but we can build this relationship one by one. Each time we can build one pair of relationship. So once you confirm everything is right and click on OK, and you can see this relationship is activated. Okay, only for the order and the customer table. And later you can add it or deactivate, okay, for your like data management purpose. But right now it's active. Then we need one more relationship between the order table and the store. Okay, so by the key of store identifier. Okay, so I'm going to create a new, and this time I think I will use the store as a which contains the probably still the order. Okay, as the store identifier. Yeah, this is the foreign key. Okay, we'll link to the store identifier as a primary key in the store location table. So that's the store, and then store identifier as a primary key. So order is the middle table. Okay, it can be linked to the customer on one side and it can be linked to store on the other side, right? So this is, but there is no link between the customer and the store, right? So not necessary. So foreign key and the primary key. Okay, then click on OK. Now we have two active relationships. That's what we need before we can pick and drag all of the data field cross over from all of the three tables. And you can delete, deactivate, and edit, okay, the relationships. And now I'm going to close. So it wouldn't show directly in the front, okay, but it will work behind the scene for these relationships. So once we build the foundation, okay, I call this foundation, so convert the worksheet into tables and then build the relationship. Okay, now you can perform many analysis cross-sectionally. First, we are going to do the demos in the book from page 300 to 308 in chapter 11 of the book. Is one primary pivot table between the store location and the total sales. Because if you're looking for the store location, like the city names, right, is located in the store table, but the sales amount or sales revenue is located in the orders table. If we don't have relational database, right, you couldn't perform a pivot table between two worksheets or two tables without the relationship we just built. So this is a nice thing for relational database. You can pick and use the data fields from all of the related tables. So let's do, you can start from anywhere, okay, as long as we finish the tables and the relationships. I'm going to still use insert, okay, pivot table. And yeah, you can start from anywhere, okay, and we want the results beyond in your worksheets. The different thing from chapter 10 is we now have 3 related tables. So you must check this, add this data to the data model so we can see all of the data fields from the 3 tables later when we pick and choose the data fields. In chapter 10, we didn't do this because we work on one table only. There is no need to use this check mark. But this is a must. If you don't check this, again later, you only see the data field from the order table only. Oh. And then I will click on OK. So same thing, we are getting a new pivot table page. And when you pick and choose, right now the active table is order because we start the pivot from the order. But if you click on the all, you see it's very nice. All of the 3 tables appear with if you expand, you can see all of their data fields. But each time we are working on some primary things, right? You don't need all of them. And this one, I know I need the amount, the sum of amount from the order table. So the sum of the sales amount will be my value. And then the store location will be my rows. Right, still drag and drop data fields, but now using 2 data tables rather than 1, okay, from one like table fields. So location, store location is the city name, and then we have the total sales amount. And now you can see, you can customize, right? So I can customize the name. I will call this is the store location. And this is my total sales. So lots of formattings you can do. Oh, and in case, so if you see your data fields disappear, most likely you put your mouse on the side, right? And if you move our mouse back into the pivot table area, you should be able to see the data fields again. And later you can do lots of formatting, like I'm saying, I can format all of these so into dollars, right? So like accounting currencies. And also, right, I can sort, right? So remember sorting, right click, and from largest to small, or I can use the the filters, right, to choose the top 5 or top 10 store locations, right? So all sorts of refining of the result. I don't have a lot, like a bunch of them. So right, I will just show. Next one, when we do the customer sales, I may choose the top 10 or top 15 because there are a long list of all of the customers. So finally, before I move on to next one, I'm going to do a pivot chart, okay, like for maybe visualization, presentation purpose. To remember how to do a pivot chart, so put your mouse inside the data range and click on the pivot table analyze, and click on the pivot chart. You can use the classical right bar charts, or you can use, some people I see they like use a horizontal, right? So the bars or column, okay, it's up to you. So for example, I just use this one. And you also can use a pie chart. Okay, let me do another one. Okay, like for example, I put on here and the pivot table analyze, add another one like a bar. Okay, like, oh, sorry, the pie, and that will give you a slice of the pie for the sales of different cities and the total, right? So if you want to leave both, okay, looking for different things, you can leave both. So the size of the pie kind of represents the percentage of sales from each store locations. So I will just leave it here. And you can add the data label, right, to show the percentage, or like you even can, I think, more options, I believe. Yeah, that's fun. And if you can, even you can do things, you can convert this into percentage. Okay, like the percentage and the like group total. I'm not going to do it. You can do that easily, I believe, using the value field setting. Or show value as, right? You can show value as a percentage of the grand total, column total, or row, like I probably like to show as the grand total, right? So it will show in percentage. Make sense? You can see that's a direct showing. And let me do this. So this is the percentage. If I want to show both the percentage and the dollar value, so I can just add another so row here to know the formatting. So I'm drag the sum again. This is the time, right? So like, you can drag the same calculation, like the field multiple times. So this one will just leave it to show this is the total sale amount, like a percentage. And this is a total sales dollar value, right? Yeah, this I think is better. Okay, we have both the percentage and the dollars. Again, by doing this, I'm eliminating my the sorting. So I'm going to sort it again. Okay, so it's becoming like sorted. The sorting will give you the same order for percentage and also the dollar values. San Francisco is number 1. I think that will be very nice, right? So analysis of the total sales and percentage related to each store functions, right? Cross-sectional for 2 tables. Then I can later name this is store sales, right? So store sales is my first analytical page, right? With the table and also with the charts. Make sense? Right? So this is what basically the demos in the book, but I expanded a little bit to the charts. I will add the slicer later. Okay, the slicer means a filter. I will add the slicer when we do the dashboard. So this is the first chart. The rest will be relatively fast. Okay, so I will build a second pivot table, which is not in the book, but I put the requirement with the assignment. So practice a little bit more. No. So go back to any of the data, the tables, okay, any of them, customer or order or store, and insert a pivot table. Oh, you can see my data, I put it all the side. Oh, there is no range. I'm cancel. Okay, moving inside. And one more time. Okay, customer. Anything you can start, right? But just don't forget this adding this data to the data model. Okay, so I can have all three tables available. Click OK. We got another one. And this one, I'm going to do a customer sales analysis. Customer. Also, I'm going to drag my customer. If you don't have, because customer is my main table or is already extended. And you can click all, remember to see the other two tables, right? So all. For customer, I'm going to use the customer name as the row, right? This is a long list. And then the sales amount total, so order sales amount to the values. Okay, I will just do this. And you can do average or count, right? Like, there are multiple things you already know from chapter 10. I'm just using the total as an example. Again, I can name, okay, so this is customer names, and this is total sales. Again, before I do anything, I will just rank them, sort, okay, them, and formatted it to dollars. Oh, I'm sorry, not dollars, I did percentage, yeah. To dollar values, okay, and if you just want to keep one digit, okay, that's fine. Total sales amount, right? So this is what I say, total customer sales analysis, right? Customer sales. And there is a long list of customers. If I just want to pick up, right, the top, right, maybe like total sales above 100,000, right? So, but anyway, so you can have a grouping of filter, right? Remember? So if I want to do a grouping, like a filter, or not really group, filter like this. So filter, value filter, okay, using the, let me try something, okay, like equal, greater than or equal to, today's total sales amount larger than 100,000. Make sense, right? So rather than, but you also can do top 10 or like other type of filters. Okay, I want to show customers has total sales larger than 100,000. So total sales, this is your evaluation criteria. This is larger or equal to 100,000. Okay, now you can see I'm only showing this level. Okay, like it's still like more than 20 or 30, right? So if you want to maybe over like 120, right? Something I want to have so more refund, right? So I can add it, right? So value filter, right? So greater or equal to add it. Okay, I want to make it. So increase my filter criteria to 120. Now it's reduced to a little bit over 10 customers, right? So those are your most important, right? So it's like your premier customer club, right? So you want to track them definitely because they brings you higher amount of sales, right? I'm just showing you some way you can find, like refine further analysis. Finally, I move on. I will create another chart, right, for this customer sales. So pivot table, analyze pivot charts. And let's maybe do what's a tree map. Yeah, tree map using a area showing the different sales. Oh, it's not available. Okay, like then we just still do a regular column then. Yeah, just a regular column charts, right? For the different customers, and you can so I don't need this, so I can delete, remove field. Oh, sorry, remove everything. Okay, just I can use the hide. Okay, so hide all field buttons on charts. Okay. Yeah, so it's more clean, and I can change the title. I can backwards, just backwards one. Can like you can say okay like the premier, right? So premier customers or prime customers. And also you can like I don't want this, I can delete, right? So that's like also showing you the dollars, right? So prime customer list, right? So you can do many other things. Okay. And this is I will just rename it. Okay, customer sales, right? So customer. So focus on the customers. The first one we focus on the location. And then a final one, before we do the dashboard for presentation, I will go back to, maybe this time I go to a customer again. Okay, doesn't matter where we start. So insert pivot table. Okay, and this is a key, right? So don't forget checking this. And this time I'm going to do a 2 by 2, means I want to have a analysis for the total sales between store location and a floor name. Okay, like floor name is like your product name. So this time I'm going to have row, column, and the value. Okay, so the row will be, I don't really need the customer, but I need, so click on all. I need the store location as the row, store location, the city names. Then the floor name is in the customer. Right, so the floor names as the column. We didn't use column before, but this will give you, and you can see nicely, 2 by 2 charts. Okay, then the sales amount as the values. Isn't this nice? Right, so location and floor name or product name. So I can change this to store location. And this is the floor name. And the crossover means their total of sales. Okay, I will just leave it. Total sales. And this is long because we have multiple. But anyway, okay, this is a nice. And if I want to take it a little bit narrow, even narrower. But that's give you like, I know the rows, it seems like we have many, but I think if I like something like a 2 by 2, right? So you can do this. Just to give you the, so you may have the question already, what situation you use the columns, right? So, and this time I can use a column and a row to construct any 2 by 2 analysis for the data we have here. So store location by the floor names. And I will just this call store and the flower, right? So, So I have three analyses now, right? So now I want to put them in a presentation. To make it simple, because this store flower, I have many data, right? So I'm just leave it there. I will create a dashboard to present the pivot chart we got from the store sales and the customer sales. So for Excel, we don't have a separate dashboard function, so we can add a new worksheet, right? Remember, I did it last time, so I can make it a fill with white, so I can remove all of the lines. Okay, it's like more like a presentation page, right? And then first go to my store sales, right? So you can arrange your, like see here, your worksheets orders, right? So I put my analysis in the front and my original data later, and this is a dashboard. Okay, first I will just rename dashboard and move the dashboard to the very front, right? So you can now it's a nice order, right? So dashboard, I will get the customer sales, this prime customer chart. Okay, so I only need a chart for presentation. So click on the chart and copy and then paste here to the dashboard. It's coming with the field because we are copying from here. Okay, you can eliminate this. I don't need. And I go to the store sales. I really actually like the bar chart. Yeah, the bar charts, like I'm going to like these pie charts. So I'm going to use this. So maybe just also eliminate, so hide and total store sales. Store sales, but in percentage. And I don't really need, yeah, I better have these, like the legend, right? So to know the store locations. But I just want to move it to the bottom, a little bit to the bottom. Or maybe make it like this. Oh, it's then just the, yeah, use it like the vertical, right? The original things. And I may want to already have this, okay, legends. And I'm going to copy and paste this to our dashboard horizontally. Yeah, see, nice, right? So two visualizations, right? So when you present to the managers, this is the store sales and this is a customer, like a prime customer list. And if you want something, maybe you can make this short, right? So you present this, but whatever something, okay, like, two, but I'm going to just stay with these two charts. Before I finish, there is one last thing, the slicer. Okay, like the book talk about slicer, I haven't used it. Slicer is a direct filter. You can use it directly in your analysis or in the dashboard. I'm going to add the slicer here. So I want to have a slicer or filter as the flower name, right? So I want to see the total sales for iris or any other type of flower related to the customer, and the stores use the flower name as a filter. So you can create a filter based upon any of the charts and link to the other charts. Okay, I will start from here. So click on the prime customer charts, and I believe there are two ways we can do this. You can use insert. There is a slicer or filter option. Okay, or you can use the pivot chart analysis. There is also insert slicer in a larger icon. So same thing. Okay, I'm going to start from here, insert slicer, and choose the flower name. You can use 2 slicers, okay, if you like. Okay, to make it simple, I just use one flower name. So you can see a like a slicer. I'm going to put it here, showing the filter, right? So this is a long list. I want to see all of the flower name. Okay, so if you click on the slicer, there is a slicer format, right? Before, we don't have the slicer tab. Now the slicer design tab, you can, right now is only one column. You can use the column adjustment, right? If you want to see all of them. Now you can see all of the flower names. Okay, will show. And I can maybe put it in the bottom. Okay, so you can see all of them. So all of the flower names, okay, as slicer. And even you can format the color, right? So I change it to orange, okay, yellow or whatever, okay, like green. So green ones. And but now if you click on any of the flower, you can see probably they don't have this type of flower because this is the prime customer's areas. But let's clear it up a little bit and then also link the flower name, the filter to the other chart, this total sales. This is the thing because they wanted to give you the option to choose the slicer for which of the analysis, which of the chart. So this right now is only for the customer chart. I'm going to link it to the total store. So just click on slicer here. Okay, report connection. What are the like analysis or charts you want to link? Right now we have customer sales, right? I also want to link it to store and also link to the store flower. Okay, even we don't have this as a chart. So linking to it to the other two analysis. And then right now, when I click on the flower, there is no data because for this customer sale, I don't have the flower as an option, right? But it will work really nicely on the store sales. Let's click on OK. Now, can we click on one of the flower names? This one will disappear. Okay, probably I don't really need to use it for the, the customer prime, but you can see basically the data in the total store sales will adjust, right? So based upon your choice of the flowers. And you can click multiple. Okay, you can click multiple in this case. Okay, so click on, I think if you hold the control key, you can click on multiple. Okay, and then you can use this clear up. Okay, is go back to the original. The reason is that I don't really have flower option in the prime customer. Okay, so you can disconnect. So I still can do this, right? So report a connection and on check, right? So it wouldn't work on the customer table. Also this time, it will only work on the total store sales. So that's why they give you the option to use the filter for whatever charts or sheets you want to use, okay, most appropriate and clear everything. So this will be like your dashboard when you make a presentation as visualization. Okay, so we have data analysis and visualization for communication, presentation, and seeking comments and opinions. So I think this is basically the assignment or practice of this multiple table data analysis. I call cross-sectional using the database. Okay, we build in the Excel. And that's give you a higher level of analyzing, right? So like a comprehensive data set in your future, working careers.